slow balls are not easy. These shots are actually very high degree of difficulty shots. So the first thing to understand about this is don't expect to succeed right away because a lot goes in to being able to attack these balls. Now, what is easy is to dink them back over the net. So let's clarify that real quick. They're easy to see and to track, but they are not easy to attack. Now, the reason that they're so difficult to attack is that this ball, it's not penetrating through the court this way. So put your racket out for me. So when Alexa's hitting the ball, she's got her contact zone. The slow ball, it's not penetrating through this way. It's just coming straight down. So all of that front to back penetration action has to be created by the player hitting the ball. Whereas on a fastball that penetrates for you, you don't have to do that yourself. Your contact zone is effectively longer because that ball is coming at you. So watch Alexa's feet, where they start and where they end as she's attacking these floaters. And pay attention to that back foot specifically, because that back foot is responsible for a lot of what makes these balls possible to attack. Now you'll notice it's landing in front of where it starts. We call this positive balance, or at least that's what I like to call it. Balance, that means that your weight ends in front of where it started. And this is our first principle of attacking slow balls. Okay, now I want you to try and attack these while staying in place. So try to not go forward and attack these. Now, it's gonna be awkward. You might go for it on purpose because it's a habit, but just try. Stay in place. Yeah, I mean, not terrible. That one went in. So you'll notice she doesn't even really look like a pro player anymore because that positive balance is so ingrained into the proper way to attack these balls that your brain intuitively knows when you see that, oh, that's wrong. But that's what a lot of people look like when they start. So how do you feel this if you've never felt it before? Well, here's a really great way. We're gonna take the band and we're gonna put it around our waist. This is gonna add resistance in that vector that we wanna push along. So I'm gonna move back here. So I'm now adding resistance and Alexa has to push against me. You can also attach this to a fence if you don't have another person, so go ahead. And you could just drop feed yourself these balls, and now you have to press against the resistance of the band while the band is resisting you. So do it as much as you want, get a good feeling for pressing against that band, and now, when we take the resistance off, we wanna keep that same sense of pressing through that shot. Now you might misprobe it a little bit at first because the pressing with the band is a little bit different geometrically from pressing without it, but you're gonna get that feeling in the back leg, that power of your legs through the court that penetrates the ball, which you need to attack slow balls using this. Now, the other piece, including positive balance, is preparing that hand to the right height. Now, hopefully this just feels like an intention to swing through the ball a little bit flatter. But if it doesn't, you may need to actively watch that ball and actively think to yourself, okay, my hand needs to be at the level of the ball. If you prepare way below the ball, the only thing you can successfully do is moonball it back. And if you watch Alexa's hand here, that hand is almost always level with the ball. There is only a very slight low to high diagonal. So pretend the ball is here and get ready to hit it. So, yep, so we drove from right around here, very, very slight low to high diagonal on a ball like this. And a lot of you guys, for whatever reason, the slow ball comes in and you're preparing down here. And now it's like, okay, you can hit a moon ball from there, but if you try to drive that ball, you're gonna be very, very inconsistent. So again, we want that to be intuitive where I think about hitting the ball straight and I naturally prepare my hand right around the height of the ball. But if it's not intuitive, force yourself to do it. Look at the ball's height and think about preparing your hand at the ball's height so you can hit it flatter and not try to hit that spin, which is never going to work on this kind of a ball that you have to penetrate. Now, the third element to being able to attack and crush slow balls successfully actually has nothing to do with the swing. It's your eyes, your reactions, and your feet. So that last ball Alexa hit, she hit it here when it was about 2-3 feet above the height of the net still, even though she started behind the baseline. That makes slow balls so much easier. Remember how in the last section we said you want to prepare your hand at the height of the ball and hit that ball flat? Well, guess what? You can't do that unless the ball is above the net. So the fact that she recognizes the ball is short early, explodes up to it, and then hits it flat, that makes the ball so much easier to attack. You can use positive balance and you can prepare the hand higher like we've been talking about. Realistically speaking, if you don't react to this ball on time and you end up getting it low, you should really just chip it and run back to the baseline. You cannot attack the ball from your knees without a great reaction. The way to attack these balls, it actually starts before you even swing. And it's early recognition where you sprint up to the ball and you get it at a height where you can still attack it. That's a great example where that wasn't even perfect, and yet the ball was in and probably a winner because you have so much margin for error up here that you don't have down here. Now there's one final piece to this slow balls puzzle. And you might be surprised, but you could follow these first 3 tips and miss every single slow ball. Be like, coach, I'm following your tips, why isn't it working? The final and most critical piece is you need to watch the ball, and you have to watch the ball hit the ground. Now your brain doesn't feel like that ball is threatening. It feels like, oh, it's so slow, like I barely even have to look at it. I know where it is. I promise you, you don't know where it is. Watch the ball hit the ground. When you watch it hit the ground, you're gonna see it come off the ground clearly, and you're actually gonna be able to do all this with intention. Everything we talk about on this channel is connected to your eyes. Okay, so what were our 3 tips? The first was positive balance, lean forward. When I say that, what I mean is look at the ball and send your foot through the ball that you're looking at. What was our second tip? It was contact height. Have an intention for how you want to strike the ball based on what you're seeing in front of you, and strike it based on what you're seeing in front of you. And our third one is to attack those balls quickly and get them above the height of the net so you can hit them like that. You can't do that if you're not acutely aware of where the ball is and how it's moving. So often we work with kids on this, but here's what happens. They run up to the ball, they have no idea where it is, they do all these things, but they take a random swing through kind of a random point in the air. Everything we're doing here, it's connected to where the ball is in space. So Alexa did everything we talked about there, but fundamentally, because she knew the ball was here and exactly where it was and how it was moving, is the only reason she could coordinate all of that through the actual ball.
So those are our 4 tips. Slow balls, they're not actually easy, but they are attackable if you practice the right things. And one of those things is that everything you practice is connected to your eyes. While I was filming this little end sequence, I actually had a great example of a shot where I was thinking about the tips and I forgot to actually pay attention to where the ball was. This is what that looks like. So remember while you're doing this that the ultimate goal is to strike the ball in space.